Minnesota Vikings, a team that went to the NFC Championship last year. Not a ton of needs roster-wise. They already got their quarterback in free agency. They have Dalvin Cook coming back at running back. They have a ton of receivers. Their biggest needs, offensive and defensive line. When looking at their draft, they really just got a steal, in my opinion, in the first round. I understand that he has character issues. Hughes does, but Mike Hughes, to me, was arguably the best man-to-man corner in this draft. He has really good skills. He's aggressive at the line of scrimmage. And I do think that they sort of need a second corner, a guy that can develop into a second corner. Xavier Rhodes is really good. He's one of the top 3 guys in the league. Trey Waynes is on and off. He does hold a little bit too much. He can get beat a little bit too much. They're bringing back Terrence Newman. They have a couple other guys, but, I mean, corner was a little bit of a need, not their biggest need, but I do feel like Mike Hughes was too good of a value for them to pass up there. Then in the second round, they immediately addressed their offensive line with Brian O'Neill at tackle. Their tackles are okay. I wouldn't call them great or bad. Mike Remers, I think they might want to move to guard. So maybe if Brian O'Neill is good enough, they could play him at tackle. And that would just allow them to be just a lot better on the offensive line, because Remers is more of a guard anyway. And O'Neill has a lot of, just reading his profile, former basketball player, good athlete. So we'll see with that, a little bit of a project, but maybe it will work out. And then they went with Jalen Holmes on the defensive end from Ohio State. Actually got picked over his teammate, Sam Hubbard, which was kind of surprising. But the Vikings have been really successful with finding some pass rushers, and that was my biggest concern about them in the playoffs. Their defensive line and their pass rush was kind of slowing down a little bit, so they bring in another edge guy, 270, 6'5", fits their profile, and he's definitely, best as a nickel rusher. They got a kicker too. I don't know if that's good or not. They drafted another offensive guard in the 6th round, a backup tight end, another corner, another DN. So they went with 2 offensive linemen, 2 defensive linemen, a corner. I think they addressed a lot of their needs just depth-wise, and also got a guy in Mike Hughes who I thought was a steal. AC, what did you think of the Minnesota Vikings draft?
I gave them a B. I think
I gave them a B as well. I didn't give them.
Yeah, like you said, they were able to get guys that goes in. Mike Hughes, yes, I think he'd be good. I think the character issues are a problem, especially because it doesn't seem like it's a small thing with domestic abuse type stuff. And what we've seen is
nobody really knows, though, right? Like, we don't really know what it exactly is.
We know that there's an actual I think he was charged. I'm not positive, but I know it was something that was somewhat serious. I'd have to look it up again. Okay. But anyways, but even if it's not, Foster wasn't supposed to be, Foster stuff in university was just allegations too. And then a year later, regardless if they back out, that's the things that's why you stay away.
See, I always give the team the benefit of the doubt, just because, they probably did their research on him before they made the pick, I hope. So I'm just giving the team the benefit of the doubt.
No, and I do too. But after, San Fran was in a great spot, and they thought they had a steal, and San Fran,
and they did for a football player, but
in their first draft, and a year later, look what they have to deal with, right? Yeah. And look, it's now looking like whatever. You never know that maybe it didn't happen, or who knows. But just for it to be an issue, right? Should it really be an issue? Should there ever be a he says, she says? You know what I mean? Why would you even get yourself in that position? Because you either did it or she's lying. But why are you with a person that's going to be that toxic around you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm saying, maybe you did do it and that's horrible. But obviously there's some times where, she's reneging. Then why is this person have with that? Anyways, besides the Minnesota Vikings problem. I got another DN. They have to start, taking, not flyers on guys, but start getting more depth. Because if you think about it, they're going to have to make a decision pretty soon, or they have a lot of guys to pay next year. And they normally only play with 2 linebackers, so maybe some depth there wouldn't be that bad. Obviously, they got Devontae Downs. But yeah, it was just kind of, I think Hughes was a great pick. Other than that, don't know too much about the other guy. I know Brian O'Neill, like you said, could be a good tackle. Same with they got some guard help there. At the end of the day, my only thing is there something up for them? The reason why they signed Terrence Newman back. That's what I don't get.
I don't know.
That's what I was just like, because I know like Mackenzie Alexander was supposed to be the guy too, but they bring in Mike Hughes. So now it's like, why bring in Terrence Newman? Because he obviously
Terrence Newman was like, hey, you guys have a chance to win the Super Bowl, let me be in on the team.
Oh, and just like I'm a leader, or they brought him in for leadership.
Yeah, and yeah. I still think Newman could play a decent bit.
Not against Nelson Aguilar.
I mean, he's okay.
No, I know, but like he was bad in that NFC Championship.
Yeah, but I think their hope would be just from a depth chart perspective and on a field perspective. If Hughes is okay, he'll slot in at the slot corner, which obviously a big need. Mm-hmm. And then you have Trey Waynes on the outside with Rhodes on the outside, and then whoever else, probably Newman as a backup, and then Alexander as a backup as well. So that's probably how it would look if everything with Hughes is okay and good to go. So overall, I do think the Vikings did improve here, but a lot of it was just depth. So both giving him a B.